The Hive Academy for Extraordinary Young People is proud to introduce...
Okay, so the whole Hive thing is weird for one reason and one reason alone. That's because it's a thing from the comics whose leader is called Queen Bee. So you know there's an obvious theme going on there. But in the show, there is no Queen Bee. There's this head mistress, but I'm pretty sure she has nothing to do with being a bee. I mean, just look at her. Yeah, Hive is an acronym, and it stands for Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Extermination. But still, why the honeycombs? I feel like they could have come up with something new because Hive in the comics aren't, or at least weren't even known for raising young supervillains. There were more along the lines of terror, so their existence in the show is pretty weird because it's just a thing from the comics. So the thing about the Hive kids is that they're actually pretty old and based around the Fearsome Five, but I'm guessing since they didn't want every villain being some old folks getting beaten up and wanted foils for the Titans, they decided to make them younger. Gizmo in the comics is a dwarf, and I don't know if he's still supposed to be in the show or it's just because of his age. It looks pretty similar to his comic book counterpart. Same goes for Mammoth, who, fun fact, in the comics is Australian, and they say he's a genetically enhanced giant. Does that mean he's a giant who is genetically enhanced, or is he a genetically enhanced to be a giant? But more importantly, who genetically enhanced them? Could have been the Hive. That would have been an interesting route to take, that the Hive is abducting these teens and experimenting on them and then having them sold because, dude, where did they find these kids and have them go through this training? But anyways, last but not least, we have Jinx, who looks the most different from her comic book counterpart. So much so that the only thing they have in common is their name and powers, I guess. But magic is weird in Teen Titans, so that's a topic for another time. Anyways, the reason I think they completely overhauled Jinx's design is because they probably didn't know how to make it work in their design. So they said, fuck it, let's just start from scratch. And comparing the two, I don't really have a favorite, which I don't think is a hot take saying I don't care for Jinx's design. They're both fine, I guess, so I don't really have a horse in the race. But something I find interesting is that Jinx in the comics is Indian, and Raven is modeled off an Indian woman named Persis Kambata. I hope I pronounced that right. And why am I bringing this up? Well, this just leads to the fact that people's skin colors is gray, like I said in the last video. Sure, you can say it's for the goth aesthetic, but I raise that's boring and fuck you. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I got a problem, man. I'm sorry. I love you. Okay, so I know they were looking for the remote, so they were probably tossing things around, but why is the room so dirty? Like, they do have a dishes schedule. So why is there a nasty pile? Well, this is one of the reasons I think why Cartoon Network decided to air this episode first, because we rarely see the Titan Towers trash like this for no reason. This isn't like the ultimate evidence or anything, but it's seeing as this was the third episode produced, and in the first episode, we do find out that they have a schedule for this kind of stuff. It makes sense for this alone, at least. Okay, this actually becomes a thing where Raven will sit in the living room when she clearly wants peace or is reading a book. And my question is like, why? First off, it probably smells god-awful in there. They're also yelling, so it clearly is bothering you. So why are you still in that room? Second off, I'm not a big reader or anything, so I don't know like the whole entire meta. But when I'm reading something, I tend to want not any distractions if I'm not already in a public place. So why does a person crack open a book when they're with their friends? I'm actually curious.
And that is the secret to traveling faster than light.
So if you want to blame someone, look in the mirror.
Okay, so this is like a technological thing, or is this like a thing where you have to train your physical body? Since light speed travel is usually a scientific discussion, and this would be Star's first appearance, you would think that she is the smart one of the team. But it's just because she's an alien. But again, you wouldn't know that without any prior knowledge, aka the episode that was literally produced right before it. Ah, yes, the classic old blue mold problem. But seriously, it's weird how disgusting the room is and no one brings it up, even though it was the third episode produced. It would have been cool seeing like the mess pile up over the 3 episodes, then leading to the cleanup at the end. I know, house cleaning, so riveting, but it would have been a nice little arc to show the Titans need to get serious about being together, especially when they say that they need to take things seriously at the end of the episode. So it would have at least been, something. Another change the show creators make with Beast Boy is that he's a vegan, because originally it was either he straight up wasn't, or it was just never brought up. But this is a change I really like because, not because I'm vegan, but because, one, it makes sense because of his reasoning.
Dude, I've been most of those animals.
And two, it adds a nice bit of character showing that Titans are all different, even down to what they eat. Adds a nice little touch of uniqueness. And I do like how they sort of take Beast Boy's vegan character serious. I mean, they do point and laugh at it quite a bit, but it's more like friendly jabs. So, it's not something where like, oh, dude, this guy's so fucking weird because he's vegan. And again, I'm not vegan, so I don't really care, but it's nice seeing a character like that, not be just laughed at because of that one thing that they do. So, I don't know, I think that's pretty neat.
Beast Boy, hang on!
Hang on for what?
Listen up, team. I have a plan.
Wait, they just let him leave?
Who knew we had a doctor in the house? Thanks.
Okay, so we know that Raven can do this, so she should be using it pretty often, right?
I was halfway to Gotham City before Star zapped that thing off my back. So
Gotham
what I
City
miss?
mentioned. So yes, there are superheroes because you can't just have Gotham without Batman, right?
We searched everywhere, and all we found was this.
Okay, so they just don't leave without searching for him, but the Hive still lets them search for him, and they just let them leave, it looks like, so. Okay, what was the plan here? You made yourself big enough to barely move. Come on, Beast Boy, I love you, but seriously, you could have turned into like a raptor or something, dude. Why not just blast them? Yeah, now you're caught, buddy, because there's no way Cyborg's just letting you... Why is it that easy for anybody to open your back panel?
That didn't just happen. Tell me that didn't just happen.
Get out of my systems. Get off me.
Robin, where is Robin? I do not understand.
Gotta
We
get
searched
closer.
everywhere.
How could you not find him? People do not just
I
vanish.
should have been there. I should have known.
Teen Titans does this thing where during emotional moments, you'll hear past dialogue read out, and that's when you know it's going to shift into a serious tone. I like that because it seems like they're looking back at where it all went wrong, and the negative thoughts are clouding their heads, and just really driving in that sense of defeat.
So, who else never wants to go surfing again?
Not now, man.
Hey, I was just trying to.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
I got it.
I like this moment here because it shows Beast Boy will use humor to cope with the loss / lighten the mood. Cyborg, when the moment gets serious, he will get incredibly serious and stern. Raven won't be all like, shut up, Beast Boy, and will rather try to calm down the mood. And Starfire will still be this ray of light. It really gives a nice little bit of insight into the characters, which makes it a pretty good pilot episode.
The Teen Titans are finished?
Not yet.
Ah, Masterful Gambit, Robin. Fucking dying. Outstanding play. Robin's character is so cool in this show. I mean, just look at that fucking smirk. He gives off this confidence and coolness that makes him an awesome leader to watch. I can't wait to delve more into him later in the season. Rome wasn't built in a day, but fucking towers and Teen Titans are. I don't know why, but seeing Cyborg's arm function like this just scratches a part of my brain I didn't even realize needed to be scratched. Again, Cyborg's design in the show is amazing. Bra fucking voe to whoever decided to give him the revamp he needed and make it the best out of any iteration. I want to talk more about Cyborg's character as a whole later, so I'm going to hold off on a deep dive into him, but just know that this is the best Cyborg in all of media.
Sorry to interrupt the victory celebration, but like I said, this isn't over.
The main reason I think Cartoon Network decided to show this first is because it shows at the end of the day, no matter how bad the Titans lose, as long as they're still together, they will come back. Divide and Conquer showed it that too, but the final exams has Robin come back and be the reason the Titans bounce back, so they probably figured that does it best out of the two.
Actually, your agents served my plans quite well. I never expected them to succeed. They were merely messengers, and the message has been received.
Who is Slade? Who is Slade?
Man, Slade is so sinister that you almost forget that he doesn't really have a why. I mean, he does have a why, but that leads to more whys. We'll talk about it later. Great job, team. Cyborg, what the fuck?
I guess we really ought to be training for battles, tracking down clues, and trying to figure out who Slade is, huh?
We will, but right now, I'm just happy to be part.
It's kind of funny that the final bits set up way better that this should have been a pilot episode. You know, pretty good episode, you know? But one thing I forgot to talk about is that we see the villains, then we see like the intro, which tells us everything we need to about the Titans and shows us everything we need to about the Titans. And then we see the Titans in the dirty ass tower. So, you know, pretty interesting. Felt they could change some things up a bit, but I don't know. They probably was just like, this is the episode we're showing, and then they had to show it as the first episode. But anyways, I hope to see you next time. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, something else that helps me out that, you know, because, you know, I would love to build a community off of this. I would love to have people that like Teen Titans watch my Teen Titans breakdowns. So, you know, have a good day, have a good night, have a good weekend, have a good week, have a good life. Peace, peace.